Hi everyone, Alistair Davies here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's lesson is all about matching up our forearms to our golf backswing to enable us to be more consistent, to deliver that shaft correctly, to help us do all the nice sexy things we want in the downswing, shallow that club, turn onto the ball, use our body, release our body and arms. If we get the backswing balance right, harmony, relationship, whatever word we like to use, this will happen more for free. If you are a first-time viewer, please consider following or subscribing. I post videos every week, all designed to help you lower your scores and improve your golf. I hope you find this useful. So keep watching to learn all about these arms in the backswing and their relationships. Okay, let's get to it. The backswing, the relationships, the arms, ideally what I'd like to see. Again, it's not a case of this is where you have to be perfection. We can make obviously lots of different movements work if we compensate the right way in the way down. So just to make that clear, this is not the only way to swing the golf club. So what I want you to look at today is really how we can get some nice feels for the backswing to be correct, to get the correct kind of placement of the arms with, for me, the right center of mass in the shaft in the right location also. So if I make a backswing and try and feel, I'm going to try and get this club head to stack itself on top of my hands. I get quite a vertical look to the shaft at the top of the backswing, so the center of mass now is pretty much on top of my hands. Now that makes the shaft feel quite light as I swing back. The more I go this way, the heavier it would feel, and the more I go this way, the heavier it would feel. So for me, the initial part of the backswing, take away into the top of the swing, I want you to try and make the shaft feel quite light. I want you to load it up and feel it quite light, so it feels quite vertical. Now ideally when it gets to about rib high to chest high, I don't want it to be as vertical as I'm describing here now. I want the club to be more what I class as online or orthodox or on plane. Now what we're going to do to make that happen is we're going to use our forearms correctly. So I've got this T in an armband to show the visuals, but basically as I get to that kind of halfway, three-quarters way back position, in order to stop the club then getting too vertical, center of mass too high, and the feeling of almost cross-lining, I'm going to try and get the feeling of pointing this T-peg to the sky. Now what that is doing is pronating my arm to allow the shaft to be then more into an orthodox position while I've still made sure my arms aren't too deep in the backswing and I'm not in that kind of trapped feeling. Whereas if I get so deep here, the only real move I've got on the way down is to try and work this way. And I get this right arm out and over into a very internal position, as we call it, which means it's very unpowerful and the plane and path isn't what we want. So the idea is really the unweighting of the shaft helps get the hands in the right relationship to my sternum. It helps me get some depth with my body. And then from there, if I rotate my forearm, it makes my swing still very orthodox. I'm trying to piece these two movements together of the arms kind of raising and going more upright with the shaft being more flatter, if you like, but the center of mass being further away from my head and my sternum and the golf ball, which is essentially what we want to do. If we get the center of mass further away from the golf ball, we can create more natural forces and speed on the way down. At the same time, if we went too flat and too what we class as external, from there, the shaft as it unweights on the way down is only really going to go this way then, which becomes quite negative. So we want to feel kind of like this, and weight the shaft and point the T to the top. Now, particularly me in my golf swing, because I cross line slightly, and I have done all my life, and if I work on hitting balls, I can get it changed, but I haven't done that, so for me to do this, my swing might be a little bit cross line, so just bear that in mind. My golf swing is not perfect. So the issues with being cross line are not a lot, to be honest with you. As long as I have a big turn, and I can shallow that club quickly on the way down, it makes no difference. In particular with my golf swing, I steepen the shaft a little bit in transition because I don't turn enough because of my flexibility. So if I was going to try and play competitively, say on the PGA or European Tour, which I'm miles away from doing, I would have to get these matched up a lot better or be so much more patient in that transition to be able to do it correctly to make it as I would want it to be. Otherwise, it limits me a little bit with speed in my driver. And my speed, my driver, for example, is about 107, 108 mile an hour. The guys on tour are like 113 average. The good guys on tour are 120 something. So to be competitive on those levels, you see what I'm saying? I have to up my speed massively. And I can't do it, I don't think, with my range of motion, my age, and also the fact that I cross line with those patterns. So I'd have to fix these things. So just bear that in mind when I'm doing this video, please. So let's go through that again. So stack the club on top of the wrists and feel the club get laid off by pointing the T-peg more towards the sky. Obviously, the more I point to the sky, the more it lays off. We don't want to do it to the extreme, but just feel it happen. Let's try hitting the ball. Pretty happy with the shot, just pushed it ever so slightly, but the strike felt really good, really solid. I'll have to watch the swing back to see how it looked. It felt a little bit disjointed, if I'm honest, because I was trying to feel the club head do this, then do that, but it might well look exactly what I want it to look. So, but really what I want this video to be about is trying to match up the forearms with the direction of the backswing as best we can to deliver the club in a consistent position to make you a consistent performer. So to get rid of the common errors we'd see in the backswing, really, and to make it more consistent and more successful. Hope you found this useful. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please click like and share the video. It really helps my channel grow, and it really helps me try and help more golfers. I'd also like you to join the conversation down below, ask any questions, post any requests for videos. I welcome them, and also just join the community really and communicate with me if you can. Lastly, if you haven't followed or subscribed me, please hit my logo down in the bottom corner. Join me on my journey. Let me try and help you improve your golf and lower your scores and enjoy it at the same time if we can. So lastly, just thank you for tuning in today and hope to see you again here soon.